Good morning. Day 3. Yeah, 3. Was just fantastic. Um, I woke up at the foot of Mount Shasta and got to sit at her feet and breathe and meditate and chant and ceremony and I made it. I made it. I started the morning with Quan Yin and had some dry Cheerios because I like to just munch them. I like the crunchy, and grapes for breakfast with my mushroom coffee while I was reading. And it was just so beautiful to remember where she came from, the pain and suffering that she witnessed as a child, and then being alone, feral in the wilderness for so long. And this beautiful angel man, who turns out to be Mahavatar Babaji, comes and heals her with patience and time and love and compassion and water. And it was so funny because I went to bed reading the different sacred sites, and I was like, I definitely want to go to the waterfall, especially the one where you can walk behind it and it's like being in the mother's womb and hear the rushing waters and it reverberate and echo. And so I was like, oh, of course, I'm going to the waters today. And as I was reading just her chapter, I was like, I need to do the initiation at the waterfall. So I had to get over the whole like, oh, there's going to be people there and I'm going to be crying. And excuse me. Purging. So there's a whole bunch of geese flying overhead right now. I wonder if you can see them. Over there. I don't know. That's fun. This morning, as I was sitting here, I was thinking, okay, what? I buried a Lemurian crystal at the campsite as gratitude. And, leaving also a part of me. It's been with me this whole trip. I've been holding it the whole drive and feeling the barcodes and praying with it and to it. And so now at this campsite, I'm like, what am I going to leave? What do I have? I didn't bring anything else, I'm leaving my essence, so I purge and pee, but, and I always clean up. I always, my mom, I always try to pick up at least 10 pieces of garbage. There's whatever I see. It's actually pretty clean here. I was just looking around and it was like, okay, remember, I am a part of the earth. The earth is a part of me, right? Just like my liver is a part of me and I'm a part of my liver. We're, one. And it was like, I'm leaving this place with not only my physical essence, but my energetic essence. And it is enough because now this space has been witnessed. It has been seen by me as I, watch the wind come up from all of these trees. And you can just see the trees sway in the distance, and then it ripples and gets closer and closer and closer and louder and louder and louder. And the spider webs across the road and between the tree branches and just like the moss, everything. I'm witnessing it and I'm giving gratitude for it. And like, that is enough. Like, how much, like, do we walk around the world just wanting to be seen, witnessed, and given like gratitude, like pure, authentic gratitude for just being you? What a gift that is when someone really sees you. It's just this like home feeling, home. So I pack up camp and I go to Hedge Creek Falls, I believe. Is that the one? Yeah, Hedge Creek Falls. And there's a little spring right before you head down, and I filled up my water jug and walked down, and it's a couple little switchbacks, and there's a lot of people. I'm passing a lot of people, and I'm like just steeling myself to be vulnerable and authentically do my initiation. And then I planned on like baptizing myself in the waterfall afterwards and feeling that water pour over me, like the healing waters that healed Quan Yin. And I found a little cave up, just up, and you can sit in it and see the whole falls, and you see a little bit of the trail and people walking by, and you have a beautiful view of the hexagonal basalt pillars, massive pillars. And people have put their hands in the clay and hand printed them. So there's these all, not hundreds, but more than dozens of handprints, over these magnificent basalt stones, the pillars. So I found a cozy little spot up in the cave, and I put down my little towel, and I pulled out my Sophia code, and I started the initiation. And I did cry, but it was nice because I was tucked up in a way, and there was like even a little bush in front of me, and most people didn't really even see me. It was interesting because I just watched for a little bit. I'm an observer. I love to watch. I learn by watching than doing. So I'm watching how people are interacting with the waterfall, and how people are interacting with other people interacting with the waterfall. And it was really beautiful. It was even like the people that you could tell weren't there like on a pilgrimage, like they just, are on a drive, or, just for a day trip, whatever. There was a level of respect that was really beautiful, of like, let me pause and wait for you to have your time with the waterfall, and then I'll come get mine. And even like swapping, want me to take your picture? You want me to take, genuinely pretty respectful. And then a couple groups came through that were definitely there for a ceremony. One woman sat and she played her flute, and it was so beautiful. Just the sound of the waterfall and the magical flute reverberating off the walls, and the womb of the cave underneath the waterfall, and the cave behind me. And I was drumming, and this group thanked me for drumming because they were in ceremony, and it was just so beautiful to like be with other people that like honor their medicine, and aren't afraid to share it in public. And as I was reading in the Quan Yin Initiation about, your inner child, and just seeing my little Jenny just running, she'd be running and dancing in that waterfall. 100%. She'd be soaked. She'd be totally wet. And my parents would laugh and be like, oh, Jenny, now you're all wet, but it was just so beautiful. And as I was reading that part of the inner child, and that laughter and the innocence and pure joy and freedom from being that innocent in life and, curious, 3 kids showed up, and they're just squealing and laughing. And I was just like, how you can't make this shit up, like it just, how the world shows up for you when you show up for yourself is just like miraculous. I couldn't have planned any of that, And then I'm done reading the initiation, and I know it's time to go be baptized by the waterfall. And I'm still just observing and witnessing and kind of waiting for a time that's a little less foot traffic. I go, and before I walk under the waterfall, I put my drum up to create a little curtain so I can walk under. And the sound that the drum makes as the water hits, oh, it sounded so cool. And then, release it and just water pouring all over me. It's so cold. It feels so good. I had a couple people thank me for drumming, random strangers, some I wouldn't ever have expected by, the looks of them to, be able to appreciate it. I don't, that's weird to say. It's judgmental of me to say. So I'm just owning it. I'm still human. And then there were some people that were just staring at me, and when I met their gaze, I'd smile at them and they'd all smile back at me. And then I started to dry off and was gonna pack up and leave, and I just felt like I'm not done yet. And there was this basalt, these 2 basalt pillars that were set up to look just like a book opening, with a whole bunch of handprints on it. And I wanted to go stand. I wanted to go lay on it. But again, now I'm kind of waiting for less foot traffic again. And just so I can have a little, it's not as vulnerable to, just be in ceremony and laying on these 2 basalt hexagonal pillars, because I might make weird noises, And as I'm kind of waiting, I see a group of women coming that I can tell are definitely in ceremony. And then I spot the red hair, my friend Holly Hope, my drum teacher. And so we have our squeals and hugs and cries of joy. And there's a couple of other people in her group that I know. It was so beautiful to get to hug, and I hear, as Holly's hugging me, and we're just laughing. Someone goes, "Is that Jenny Stone?" So my head whips over, and you see some friendly faces, and then I get one of them to actually film me the way that I kind of really want, so I'm not just setting it up far, far away. So there's some close-up video because I want to document this experience. And an image is worth 1,000 words. It's like I can only explain so much with my mouth. But video can, an image can capture and convey so much more. So it was a gift. It was really a gift. Someone I know and trust, And then I'm, laying in the basalt hexagonal pillar book of life, and Holly says that you lay there and you download all of your Akashic records, and I'm like, woo, they're already in me. In my mind, that's what happens. I'm like, woo, that sounds cool, let's access them, but they're already within me. I got them. Because my whole pilgrimage here has been to initiate myself into my I am presence, my divine Sophia code genome, expressed uniquely as Jenny Diane Stone. And I am that I am. It's done. And it feels so powerful. That first night on Shasta, I was doing this breathing, this torus-filled toroidal breathing, where I was breathing in the stars, all of the stars, the galaxies, breathing it into all of my being, and then I was exhaling and surrendering all attachment to my body, my identity, my pain, anything, and I became this void, right? It's so funny, the void has been showing up, and I brought my void drum, my egg of no thing, which is the void. The black egg of no thing. Let's see right here. She's in serious need of repair, but there she is. She's egg-shaped. She even has a little portal. Boop, boop, boop. She's a little wet still from the waterfall, but look, I had is it hematite? No, what's the magnet one? The magnet's on there, and they keep falling off, so I gotta find a new way to put them on. Okay. that I am. So as I'm laying and basking in the sun, and they're all setting up in this beautiful way, and Holly's over here filming, and I'm like, oh, she needs to be in those. Like, if this was my retreat, I would wish I could be in them. So I'm like, you want me to? And then I just got this beautiful, like, I got a couple of captures and long ones, and then I went through, and each one, you know, this one on the rock, this one on the log, this one on the cliff, this one by the waterfall, and I was like so excited to see it, because like I kind of think of myself as an amateur videographer. I think I have an eye. Obviously not for this self stuff, but like in front of me, where what I can see, yeah. So that was really fun. They were there to bless their drums, and I got to witness and hold space for them, and drum and scream and cheer them on as they were practicing being seen. Witnessing, being witnessed. Yeah, I see you. I see you. I see you. I mean, oh, and I don't know if you can really see her in here, but let's see. Right there is, under the clouds, is Mount Shasta. I just get to see the tip of her. It was a journey getting here too, by the way. So I feel complete. What a fun experience. As I was walking into the falls, these people were not walking, I was like, my bag was on the tailgate and I was packing my lunch, and this couple was walking out and they were carrying stuff you could tell they were selling. And I was like, oh, hey, what are you selling? And she came and, put it down on my tailgate. She's like, I'm setting it down because this is heavy. And they had jars of honey and jam, candles, homemade candles, and these pine cone necklaces. And I wanted a candle. There's this cute floating heart candle that I got for Jerry and me for the hot tub, for a romantic night in the hot tub. Light a little heart candle because it's a floating heart candle. I thought that'd be fun. And but I only had enough cash for this. She's like, oh, well, I'll just give you the candle. And her husband, it was Ronnie and Bonnie. Yeah, Ronnie and Bonnie. Yeah. And they loved the camper. I walked them around the whole thing and showed them how it all worked. They were just like enamored by it. And I think that's why she gave me the candle. Because, when you get to know people and you're nice to them, they're nice back. It's so amazing. People are so good and just loving and giving. Everywhere I go, people have been helping me on this trip, giving me directions or suggestions. Anyway, candles. Letting me in the museum an hour before it opens. Okay, leaving the falls, going to Castle Craigs. Craigs. Tomato. These giant granite pillar rocks that are like 170 million years old, and said to be from Lemuria. And there's also said to be lava tube tunnels that lead to the middle of the earth, where the Middle Earth beings, or Lemurian, live. I have a pretty deep connection to Lemuria. My crystal that I buried at the base of Mount Shasta was a Lemurian crystal. But one of my very first vision quests, how did this come about? Was it during breath work? I don't even remember where it was, but it was early on. I think I was still like very much in the church. But questioning and looking at just curiosity. What do other cultures believe? Educating myself, becoming a learned person on other cultures' theologies, mythologies. So I'd had this vision quest where I went into this cave and through this water through into this cave, and then I came out on the other side, and it was like this upside down world. So I came out the cave on the other side, but it was flipped upside down, and everything was pastel hued, very much like this card deck, pinks and blues and lavenders and golds. And there was a path, and there was this giant being there. I couldn't tell you what kind of being it was. It was not human. Was there guiding me. There were no words spoken, but there was a knowing, and gestures, but not even like, like rough gestures, just just knowings. And it guided me to this path, and this path was lined with hundreds of beings, teeny tall, just and they were all welcoming and honoring me, and walked into the city center, into this castle that was just made of these Lemurian crystals, actually a lot like the new Superman's headquarters out in Antarctica or whatever, just massive pillars of these Lemurian crystals. And we walk right into it, into the heart of it, and just cascades of beautiful crystals everywhere. And there's a throne in the center. Well, in the center, there's actually a little pillar and like a crystal, a little bit of phallus, I mean, how big was it? Probably a foot tall, and, like spinning, woo, and lights on it. And it was, oh. And then behind it was a throne, again, made of all Lemurian crystal. And it turned around, and sitting in the throne, I was staring at myself. But this fierce warrior-esque me. She had my faux hawk, my blonde faux hawk. It was different, but it was the same. And she had a headdress with adornments coming down, and this like leather, but it wasn't like rough and rugged leather. It was like almost like suede and soft furs, very sensual, and long, and she was tall, really, really tall, whatever, and long, lean torso, and then this wrap around the loins, a garter with something on it, and this big, tall spear with a Lemurian quartz crystal at the tip. And she stood and walked to me and offered me this Lemurian, that big phallus, and put her forehead to my forehead. And like, there were no words spoken, but it was remember who you are energy. And when I came out of it and journaled it, and I was telling somebody, I wish I wrote all of this down back then. I wasn't a journaler. The teacher was like, sounds like Lemuria. And I knew they were Lemurian crystals because I just found out about them and bought one. Maybe that's why, because I had my Lemurian crystal. I got the codes. Who knows? So my connection with Lemuria feels really powerful. So I wanted to go visit that place. It was beautiful. There was no downloads or ahas or anything, but I think there's this oh yeah, there you are, this recognition, this coming home of oh, okay, yep, here, home, and then here, home, and then here, home, because I am home. I am everything. I am one with all that is. I'm cold. The sun went behind the trees. And then I wanted to find a place to sleep for the night, and Castle Lake. I'd heard there's some camping by Castle Lake, and Nav will not take me to Castle Lake. It wants to take me to another country. Even when I say California. So I tried to follow the directions as best as I could in this little map here. And it said when the road ends, and I thought there were even a couple of signs. I'm like, oh, okay, I know I'm in the right spot. And then, but the road split a couple of times, and I chose the right because I just do. And the road did not end, by the way. At some point, I was like, I need to turn around because I can't. I'm now on the other side of a mountain from Mount Shasta. I've gone over 2 by now. And so I've got to turn around and find a spot where maybe I can peak Mount Shasta and stay set up before it's dark. And also super remote. I hadn't seen anyone for like 40 minutes. And so I find this little pull off that's like, ooh, I think I could see Mount Shasta from there, and I can, and there's a truck. So I turn around, and just as I'm pulling out, I see on the other side of the mountain, it goes up. So there's a little mountaintop where there was a truck, and then I found a little pullout that comes up to another mountaintop. So I'm up here and I can see this much, the tip of Mount Shasta right now. But I can see her. And that was like I was like, okay, starting to get stressed again because the sun is setting really fast and there's no one out here. Like, last night I couldn't see anybody, but I heard them. And I saw a couple of cars, throughout the night, the headlights driving. And so like there was some level of safety and comfort. Well, that one car on the other mountaintop across from the mountaintop I'm on now that's the only person I've seen in, at that point it had been an hour of driving, trying to never found Castle Lake, by the way. There is a little lake like right down here. This little teeny, and I have not seen any or heard any humans on it. So I have no idea. Maybe I'll find Castle Lake on my way back today. The idea was to go to this pavilion every Sunday morning. They've been doing it for years, gathering and drumming and singing. But we'll see, because I want to do the Green Tara initiation still. So I get set up. The sun is setting. It's starting to get dark. I had found my where are they? I thought I put them in the light. Solar lights. That's what they're called, solar lights. So I set them up at the setting sun that's like orange glow, and I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna get enough sun because they've been packed away and not getting any sun at all in the truck. But you can put them on red, so it doesn't blind you and it doesn't call in bugs, but it gives you a little bit of light so you can see. But then I was also like, well, is it making me a beacon? Or are there going to be some vagabonds up here and they're going to come, or like zombies looking for food, or I was freaking the fuck out. Legit freaking out. And then I was like, okay, remember, I am home, I am home, I am home, I am part of Earth. Oh, she will take care of me. I am safe wherever I am. Just reminding myself. And today, yesterday's A Course in Miracles lesson was kind of a doozy by just the title. It can be but myself I crucify. I can't even say it. This is how hard it is. It can be but myself I crucify. Ouch. The concept, thanks to Pam Grout, and this is actually the thing that got me back into Course in Miracles this time, because I'm like, oh, I'll just do her fun little experiments. But after I read the first one, I'm like, I actually want to read what the actual Course in Miracles says and then do a compare and contrast. She makes it so fun. And hers is, only my thoughts can harm me. Only my thoughts can harm me. Nothing can hurt me but my thoughts. And I was like, okay, harm, crucify. I get it. Thoughts, myself. Yeah, because it's happening all in my head. So the hard thing became this really fun thing. So it really became useful when I'm sitting here and I'm meditating and I'm looking at the stars and it's dark. It's pitch black. And I hear a huff. like through a nose. And it's a big one. It's not a deer. And for a second, I was freaking out. It was a bear because I still have my food that I hadn't finished just sitting right next to me, and like I have a tent. Like, sure, I have a truck. I could get in the truck and shut the door, but like I can't sleep in there. I mean, I could sleep in there. It just wouldn't be comfortable. And I'd have to like move a whole bunch of shit around, and there's a bear out here. So I'm like I'm like going through all of this in my head, right? And then I heard this clack, 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 clacking sound and scraping sound. And then like a stomp, stomp. And I was like, oh, it's an elk. It's an elk. And then I'm like, oh shit. That's just as scary because it could come and just, and throw me off this cliff right here, and I'm like, okay. Jenny, you're a part of nature. Yeah, but nature has, nature is vicious. Nature is vicious. I watch nature documentaries. It's vicious. Okay, but like I'm here on a vision quest. Okay, I didn't get to that point yet. I was like freaking out. I was like, oh wait, what was the Course in Miracles again? Okay, only my thoughts can harm me, Jenny. Only my thoughts can harm me. So I got my drum and I started drumming because all I could think of was like scare it away, right? Like make noise, move around, and it'll scare away, right? Because Jerry and his buddy went elk hunting, and it's like, you gotta be very quiet, very quiet, and sit very still for a very, very, very long time and hope that an elk will come by. So being loud and noisy to me is like scares it off. And that was just what came to me. So I picked up my drum and I start drumming and chanting. Only my thoughts can harm me, so tell a better story. Only my thoughts can harm me, so tell a better story. Only my thought. Oh, it's so flat, honey. You need the sun. Yeah, only my thoughts can harm me, so tell a better story. And I just keep chanting and drumming and playing and moving and then just laughing. And I go, okay, so what's the story I can tell here? Okay, there's a woman, it's me, on a mystical pilgrimage, spirit quest, if you will. And as she's sitting in ceremony at the base of this magical portal place, spirit animals are showing up to honor and witness her in her ceremony. And then I just scared it away. Who knew? Maybe it was coming to bow at my feet and like huff and bless me with its breath. I don't know if I could have handled that. I don't know if I'm there yet. I have been like, I thought I was like that mystical person in Bali, and the monkeys attacked me viciously, grabbing my clothes and pulling them. And I was like, oh my God. I guess I'm not ready yet. Oh, funny. And it took me a good long while to like calm my nervous system. There's a bee on my phone again. Hello, Hathor. And I ended up turning on a light and doing a card reading. And the first card was the Oracle. And it was an image with a mushroom cloud and a woman standing in the mushroom cloud. Like my meditation on the very first or second morning. First morning at Pyramid Lake with the sun gazing. I was like, oh yeah, that feels good. Oh yeah, okay. Feeling better. Remember, I'm initiated into my I am presence, Jenny. I don't need to be afraid. I am one with all that is. And then I pulled Chaos, which is kind of a scary looking card. It's all black, spider web. And then there's these 3 shadowy distances in the figure. And then I'm like, okay, tell a story, Jenny. The trees represent these beings, right? And there are spider webs all over the place. Like I'm even here for 10 minutes and spider webs are from my truck to the tree, So it's like, okay. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be scary. Tell a better story. And then I'm like, let's pull another one from this deck. Let's pull one that's nice. And then I pulled the Despicable Face, which is kind of like this ugly, dirty brown. Ooh, a hawk just flew low right in front of me. with all of these creepy looking eyeballs all the way around. And I was like, okay, well, let's go to the next deck and pull a nice card. Oh no, I was like, okay, well, let's book end it with another light card. And then I pulled this like shattered face looking like mirror image. And it said, align your life. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess there's still some work to do. So I ended up reading the cards, and they were a lot nicer than the story I was telling myself. And that's so funny. Why do we do this? It's like Jenny literally just been chanting like, you're only my thoughts can harm me. Tell a better story. And then I'm telling scary stories about these cards. I decided to read it backwards so that I could end on a high note with the oracle, because it's my life and I can do whatever I want. I get to make up the rules, right? So, and if that the making up the rules makes it help me feel better and happy, then what is there harm in that? In this place where there's nobody around, why am I judging myself? You know, so funny. Releasing all of that, just whew. So align your life. Do I need to tell all of this? Ended up being just like really beautiful, like literally all of the stuff that is like just like doubling down on the Quan Yin Initiation, the water cleansing and the inner child healing of all of the unconscious and subconscious woundings and culture, woundings, traumas that we've had, that we've just been holding on to because we don't even know that they're really there. They happened when we were so little, or even past life. And just washing those away, and removing all suffering from all sentient beings, which is like the practice I've been doing, Tong Len, Om Mani Padme Hum is this beautiful prayer of releasing suffering from all beings, just bringing that compassion, the karuna compassion, that higher love, unconditional love of your innocence, your true innocence of like an inner child, right? Like this, the scriptures even talk about the hearts of the fathers will turn to the children, and only children come unto me, or whatever Jesus says about that one, right? Like little children. So I can't remember it, but like these are universal truths that I'm finding, and there's not one that is right or true, because they're all true in their own beautiful, unique, like the basis, maybe they all practice different rites and rituals and customs around that belief, but it's still the same truth, and shouldn't we celebrate how people honor it in their unique, different way? Just like we honor a fir tree is different from an oak, and a rose is different from a sunflower. Like, how beautiful is that? Oh. And then just witnessing it and seeing the commonality, the love beneath it all. And the chaos, the chaos that can appear when you're looking at it through lenses of judgment, of opinion, or, right or wrong, or good or bad, or even just kind of like in my life situations. Like one of the things that I really loved about Quan Yin was just this, like, it wasn't like, oh, now immediately everything is beautiful all the time. It's she lends herself to grief often. She allows herself to feel the overwhelming human emotions of sadness and despair and loss and suffering. And she gives herself over to it. She gives herself over to it and allows it to wash over her and through her. And then it dissipates when it's ready. And this whole chaos is like, the message in the chaos card was like, if you're in chaos, the only thing you can do is wait. It's like the universe is self-organizing, like the rose blooms when she is ready, and not a moment too soon. the caterpillar turning to mush, chaos, to become a butterfly. Man, you try to figure that shit out and cut it open to like dissect it logically to understand it. Now there's not going to be a butterfly, right? Like you just have to trust and be patient and surrender. The despicable face was like the masks that we wear and how it's time to put them down. You know, the align your life. What are you still holding on to that needs to be let go of? And then it's just like, yeah, okay. So there's still some situations in my life that it's like, okay, when it's ready, I'll know. I don't need to, I was hoping to get clarity here. Like, tell me the answer. How do I solve this? What do I do? How do I make this right? And it's like, no, it's still not time. Just wait and trust that when the time is ready, the decision will make itself. Because I am an oracle. You're right. It's all I am allowed to be a mess and a masterpiece simultaneously because I am. That I am. Last night was the scariest, for sure. The most remote. The first night there was trucks, on the highway all night long. I could hear, and I knew there were campers on both sides of me on the beach. I couldn't see them, as far as I walked around my camp and around the beach and the edge, I couldn't see them. But, there were fireworks going off in the distance on one end, and then the highway was in a distance, but I could hear it. So there were these comforts of humanity, but still this feeling of solitude. So there was a little bit of fear, but not a lot. And then the second night, I could hear people and I could see evidence of them, headlights, and every once in a while I could hear a car, but I could not see these people. So there was that remoteness and solitude in the wilderness that was but I don't know, there wasn't a lot of fear there. I think because I was on the foot of Mount Shasta and I knew there was a whole bunch of people too. I mean, there are people all over the place on Mount Shasta, even within my vicinity, right? There was, one person, two. I was between two people. So, pretty protected, safe. And then this was solo, alone. And the elk, just calling it an elk, really gave me a good little scare. And for some reason, this is a campsite, a large gathering campsite. And there's up kind of off the ways, there's a tarp that's rolled up with some things that's really tattered. And so there's this kind of feeling of are there going to be squatters? I that's the only word I can think of. And I don't know why I think of that as a scary negative thing. So I'm okay, remember, Jenny, only my thoughts can harm me. So tell a better story, right? Maybe it's a shaman coming to give me blessings. So I did not sleep very well last night. And then I did have to pee. And one of the songs that I kept singing as a mantra is from one of my beautiful Costa Rica sisters, Kenya. It is safe to be here. It is safe in my body. It is safe to be here. It is safe in my body. And it just keeps repeating. And so I start singing it, safe to be here, safe in my body. And then I go, it is safe to pee here. It is safe in my body. As I'm stepping out into the pitch black darkness. And then as I'm squatting and vulnerable with my pants down, peeing, it is safe to pee here. It is safe in my body. And then hey, look at the stars. Remember, we are safe. And, so I went in last night. Well, I did bee's breath, and that was kind of a big deal because I felt really vulnerable already, and kind of had my ears peeled for bears or elk or vampires or whatever. So I was kind of on the lookout, but I hadn't done my second bee breath. I do it in the morning and at night. And but to plug my ears and then bee breath, so I can't even, all I'm hearing is my own sound, takes a sense of protection away from me, and my eyes closed because, fingers are on your eyes. But even in the dark, I can't see. I don't have night vision. But it was like super vulnerable, and it took me probably like 20 minutes to talk myself into it. Like just go inside and set up, and you can meditate in there. It's like, no, Jenny, you came here to experience this. Experience it. You're safe. And so I did it. But I like first, violet flame and protection and but I did it. I did it, and I survived, and it was beautiful. It was funny when I was doing the reading Quan Yin's chapter at the base of Mount Shasta, some giant horseflies started coming by, and I was like, oh no, don't bite me, Only my thoughts can harm me. Tell a better story. Okay, this is a fun new mantra I'm excited to play with. See what new stories I can craft up. Yeah, the universe unfolds itself for me. So I again set up a violet flame, a bubble of protection from all biting things. And not just bugs, like biting thoughts, biting remarks, biting memories or emotions, or psychic attacks or cords, attachments, blah 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 blah. Like no biting things in this space and time while I am in sacred ceremony with Quan Yin. So that's been really fun to play with these force fields, shields, energetic force fields and shields. And so far I have not been bit. There was a mosquito in my camper last night. It did not bite me. Thank you. Thank you, biting beings, for not tasting my flesh. Yeah. Oh, so last night I did my physical therapy on the bed in there because I had the heater on. It was nice and warm. And then started reading the Green Tara chapter and was blown away. I read it with new eyes, literally seeing it a new way, because I never really related to her story on Karnak before, which was in the Sirius Star Nation. But it's funny because, and I'm still looking for this and hoping that maybe it will come through a portal to me sometime. So I just keep looking and expecting it to show up. But when I was a little girl living in Oregon, actually, Oregon was so magical. It's like I was third grade, such a magical time to be in this magical fairy realm. I mean, literally, this is what the edge of my street looked like. Just straight forest. And then we'd go to the beach and oh my God. But I wrote and illustrated a little book about an orphan alien from the planet Karnak. And I was the orphan alien. And that's all I remember. I just remember the cover, the book cover. And it was a picture of me, and then like the planet Karnak in the back, and then the cute bubble letters, orphan alien from the planet Karnak. So I'm just like, I would kind of think that I would have a little more connection to her story at Karnak all these other times I worked with her, but I mostly have connected with Green Tara for releasing viruses when I'm sick. Because the Dalai Lama during the pandemic asked everyone to chant the Green Tara mantra because it can kill viruses, but not just of the physical body, but of the mind too. And so whenever my kids were sick or I felt like I was getting sick, I would chant it. And kid you not, like if I'm feeling sick that night, as I go to bed, I'll chant and just and imagine Green Tara wrapping me in her green light. And I wake up fine. Like miraculous. It's especially when kids, my family's sick. And to alleviate the 8 great fears and call in the 8 great virtues from Green Tara. That's kind of how I've connected to her. But reading her chapter again, like her story on Karnak and how they as a people, through their free will creation, created chaos and destruction and pain and suffering. I was like, this is where we are now on Earth. Like we have, as sovereign beings, have used our sovereign will for war, for chaos, for greed, corruption, mine, thinking the more I get, the safer I'll feel, but there's never enough, you know? And separation, I'm right, you're wrong, to get more gain. This is what was happening on Karnak, on her incarnations there. And then she said that the golden dragon seraphim started incarnating on the planets and seeding the planet with these golden dragon seraphim ascended masters. And there became a tipping point of the scales, and that humanity stopped creating these destructive patterns and started co-creating with each other and the planet actually transcended. My phone died, so here is an image of a grid altar that I made, and then you can see the lake that was at the bottom of my camp. I was thinking it was Castle Lake. I ended up finding it on the way driving home, and at the very top of the mountain is where I was camped. But this was not Castle Lake. I never did find Castle Lake, and so thank you. I appreciate if you've listened this far. I'm impressed and would actually love to know what some of your takeaways are. Why are you watching? What are you receiving from this experience that I'm sharing with you right now? Because it helps me feel good, validated, seen, witnessed, like I speak about at the very beginning. So let me know. And let me know if there's other things that you want to know about. Love you.